Everyone, welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Nerbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Now we are in the midst of one of my favorite promotions ever. It's called Bration and Stampin' Up offers it only once a year. This is 2025 at the moment, and from January 7th through to February 28th, there are tons of goodies in this little brochure that you can earn for free with a $75 or a $150 order. Now, if you are in Canada and you do not have a demonstrator, please let me know. I would love to send you a catalog. You are also more than welcome to check out all these goodies online. But if you're somebody like me who likes that paper copy in your hands, just reach out. I'm happy to get you one. Or if you're in Edmonton, I do have them on my front porch and you can come and grab one anytime. Now for these goodies, sometimes Stampin' Up offers you the option of complementing an existing product with something that you can earn for free. And we're going to play with one of those suites today. I did use this one, I think on the January 7th, when this catalog first launched, I played with this bundle and this combination, but I was having so much fun and I had some scraps left over that I wanted to show you something else. So on page 53 of the catalog, you will find the terrific Toadstools bundle. There is a great stamp set and punch set that you can purchase either individually or at a discounted 10% off when you purchase them together for $53. I know it's not quite enough to get you to $75, but you can add anything else that you want in order to earn this coordinating paper for free. So this is on page 10 of the Bration brochure. There is adorable Toadstool Gardens paper that complements this set. Now I'm going to leave this open for a second because sometimes when I look at a catalog, I use it for inspiration. And that is what Stampin' Up has done when they give you all these ideas. They're not meant to just sit there and look pretty. You are in fact encouraged to replicate them or play with them. So actually back in January, I did show my club members how to make this card. And if you placed an order online via my website that was over $40, you got that card kit for free. That is an option, unfortunately, just for people in Canada. Unfortunately, elsewhere in the world, you're not able to order from me, so therefore you can't earn the free kits. But if you ever need help finding a demonstrator in your country and you're still just watching my videos for inspiration, please still connect. I have lots of friends worldwide and I'd love to get you set up. Or we'll just get the little phone tag going and I will find you somebody. In the Stampin' Up website, there is also an icon in the top that says find a demonstrator. You can enter in your zip code or whatever other address feature your country might have, and they will tell you somebody who's nearby. However, sometimes a reference from somebody you enjoy crafting with can go far, so please let me know. I'm more than happy to try and to find you somebody. So I'm using this little card for reference. I'm not copying it and casing it, as we call that, which is copy and share everything, but instead I'm using it just as a bouncing off point for my project today. So as I was prepping for my Show Me How It's Done videos and even my January card class, and I did a bingo in January, I end up with lots and lots and lots of scraps. So you can see this is a beautiful package of paper. It's so fun and vibrant, and I don't want these to go to waste. So I'm going to show you a card that you can make with those pieces. And if you don't own this bundle, but you own a lot of scraps for something else, perhaps you can use those scraps in this card instead. So here's my finished card. We're going to use all those scraps and we're going to make a really fun background. This is what I'm commenting on copying or casing the catalog with, because they had these adorable little toadstools on a decal, and I thought, hey, that's perfect. I want to do that too. I did end up changing out the little sentiment because I wanted to use, instead of the one they had, they said you are magical, I wanted to use popping up to say hi. And I will list this, of course, in the description for you, but this decal does not come with this set. It is one that I found from my Delicate Forest bundle. That is a set in the annual catalog that is still available, but of course you are more than welcome to use anything else you have. You could even cut yourself a rectangle. Quite simply, that would do the job. So let me show you how to do this background. Then I'll walk you through how to add the other pieces to your decal, and you'll have a finished card by the end of the day. Not the end of the day, the end of the video. I won't keep you that long. Okay, first things first, we need a card base. So really, you could choose colors from anywhere in this paper package. Anything goes. It's completely up to you. I decided to make this in the fresh Freesia color because my mom's birthday is coming up and she loves purple and pinks, so I figured this is a good kind of color combination for her. I'll probably change the sentiment on her card and just stamp a happy birthday from something in my collection though. But we've got a card base. To make this, I have cut a piece of paper that is 5.5 by 8.5. And I've put a little score and fold down the middle at 4 1/4. That's going to make a card that opens and closes to the side. Oh, my sunshine's coming in. That's good. I miss the sun in the winter. I get a little sad when it's not there. Now for the inside of my card and for the front of my card, I need a piece of basic white. So that is going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4. Go ahead and cut 2 of them because we're going to need them. So this first one will go, of course, on the inside. The second one is going to get popped up on dimensionals on the front. I'm going to put all of those pieces together in just a moment, but what I'm going to switch out for right now is one more piece of basic white. This one is going to be slightly smaller than the other two, so it's actually going to be 3 3/4 by 5, and then you're going to bring in your scraps. So my scraps from all of my cutoffs just happen to be all 1/2 inch by 6 inches because the paper is a 6 by 6 package. That's what I have left. But let's say you're working with 3/4 of an inch strips. Definitely fine. You can do this with 1 inch strips. As you get bigger, you'd probably not be able to showcase as many of the colors, but that's also completely up to you. This card is meant to use your scraps. Please do not start cutting a brand new sheet of paper to make the card, unless you're going to make a whole bunch of them. And in that case, go for it. Make a whole bunch, cut these. I'm probably going to be able to make a few cards out of this pile of scraps. But we're going to use our double-sided tape and start having fun. So the thing that you need to start with is a focus piece. See this green piece that's going all the way down? That's what I'm going to start with, and I'm going to actually put my double-sided tape all the way down that entire piece. Now you might be wondering, Lauren, why on earth are you not just putting adhesive all over this white background? And that's because I chose personally to have white showing through each of my pieces. Okay, I wanted a border. If you're somebody who's like, nope, I don't care about a border, I want this to be very easy, I could simply just take pieces. I could put adhesive all over this, and then I could take pieces and start butting them up to each other with no sense or no sort of border. But as long as you're operating with a kind of back and forth mentality where you're switching colors around, this could look great as well, and it will save you a lot of time. I'm going to do this the hard way, so we're going to move that out of the way. Got my focus piece, and I'm going to put this at a diagonal, kind of as close to this top corner and the bottom corner as I can get, but I don't need it to touch both of those, okay? And now from here, you're just going to work upwards and downwards. So on the downward section, this is the really easy part because they're all just going to go sideways and they take quite a bit of space. So once again, just putting double-sided tape. You can use glue, in fact, so that you can move these pieces. Oh, don't put it upside down. And I'm just leaving like 1/8 of an inch border between. I'm going to have to kind of wrestle this off my desk when I'm done. So if by chance you have purchased the Stampin' Up glass mat, I really would suggest doing this on that instead of like a wood surface like I'm doing. But I find when I film with my glass mat, you guys end up getting blinded. Just the combination of light and camera doesn't really like it. So I'm saving your eyesight. You can thank me later. And we're just going to keep going this way. So I'm still putting adhesive all over the whole strip, even though these spaces are getting smaller, because what I can do is I can use part of the strip here in one section, and then later what I can come across and do is just cut this off and use it on one of the side pieces. So don't press down onto your desk. You don't want to have to rip that up later. These pieces can go on in whatever order or fashion you want. There is no right or wrong to this. The point is just to have fun with the scraps you have and perhaps just sit here and remember all of the fun projects you made. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off ahead of time so it doesn't stick to my desk. Then I can use that later. Okay, this one I'm going to save for later because I often will end up with like a really random scrap at the end, and those are perfect for those edges. So I've gone diagonal this whole way. We're going to switch directions completely and start going straight up. And yeah, just have fun. You can do a pattern, you can do 2 different colors, you can do 3. I find it's easiest now that I've done that diagonal one to do one that connects to this right hand corner, again as kind of a jumping off point for my work. And if you've got a nice tail here, go ahead and cut that off because you can use it later on in the card. All right, what else we got? Fun things here. Let's go. No, this is just very much you watching me, and that's okay. We can chat about Celebration. Celebration is going on until February 28th. Of course, the Toadstool bundle will be available while supplies last until the end of April. But the paper that I'm using, this Toadstool Gardens paper, it's not available for sale. It's only available as a freebie with a Celebration order. So you'll want to make sure to grab this as a freebie, even if you don't intend to buy the bundle right away, because then you can make this card anytime you want and go back and watch the video from January 7th, because I know I did post something then as well. I'll look in a minute and see if I can find it for you. That one is upside down. I don't want upside down. Cutting very straight. There we go. I like to use the least amount pieces as possible so that I can make more of these. Again, leaving that top space on its own because I can come back to that later when I have extra pieces to work with. That one's stuck together. Also, I should say, just a reminder that if you are somebody with a giant wish list and you haven't placed an order yet, if your order's over $135, you might want to consider taking Stampin' Up on their offer of a starter kit, because for $135, you do not pay any shipping or GST. You get to pick $165 worth of product, plus till February 28th, there's a choice of either $41 more in bonus product, which is fun, but the kicker is your second option is 2 full sets of Stampin' Right markers. So there's 10 markers in each of those sets. They're a $50 value each. Plus, you get an exclusive Stampin' Up stamp as well. So something to think about, something to ask me more information about if you think, yeah, actually I do have quite a list. I wonder if you could tell me more. I would be more than happy to walk you through how you can save a bit of money on your supplies. They're a no obligation kit, which I love. So if you decide after you get it, or you've placed a few orders that you're like, oh, I actually have everything I need, it's okay. There's no penalties for not continuing to order, but you do get a 20% discount as long as you are ordering. So something to keep in mind for you. I don't know. Now I'm just playing. Now I have to see pieces I want to use. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Use that one already. Do this. 4, and then this one's really tricky because it's just at the edge, but I can still get something on there. 5. Okay, now this looks like a mess. I know, I understand. What we need to do is we need to get it off of your desk, your workspace, like so, and we're going to cut these edges off. So you can do that either with your scissors, just gently, kind of one at a time, cutting that off, or you can grab your trimmer if you would like instead, and it would go a little quicker for you. But then you risk getting your trimmer a little sticky. So I usually just do this by hand, getting all of these pieces off. You can also use scraps from 12 by 12 cards for this. They would of course hang off a little bit more, but you could get quite a few uses out of them as well. Oh, felt nice out. It was very cloudy when I walked Tara this morning, so the sun must just be peeking through. There we go. Oh, that little one on the bottom decided to fall off. Let's try this again. That one may or may not stay, and that's okay. I can come in, do a tiny dot of glue. There we go. I wonder if I have something small. Teeny tiny. Not that. This one. There. I might have to just let that dry for a minute before doing anything else. I'll risk it for you guys. At home, you should let the glue dry. Okay, now on the back of this white sheet, the one that we've put all of our papers on, we're going to attach a flat adhesive. So whether you have more tape or some glue or seal, we're going to attach a flat adhesive all the way around the perimeter so it's nice and even. And then we're going to mount it onto one of those white pieces that we had previously cut out. It doesn't matter which one, because remember, they are the same. So one of those two white pieces we're going to bring back over and kind of solidify a white frame around the project. I really just find I could have mounted this straight onto the purple. It would have looked great. but adding this white detail really draws your eyes in and kind of gives focus and spotlight to the designer papers. It also makes it look like you were super fancy and you were able to cut them off instead of carrying that onto the edge. So it's just an illusion for the people who get your card, but I think it looks nice. Now on the back of this piece, we're going to add dimensionals. We want to pop this out and give it a little bit of life so that it kind of comes away from the card bit. So dimensionals on the back of this one now. I'm going to do quite a few just because I want it to feel well supported. If you have a preference for which way is up, or if you have paper that's very directional, just make sure to take a look at how your card's opening before you put this on, because you would be very sad if you mounted it and then realized everything was upside down. All right, now before we do the decal, let's put this piece on the inside, but I didn't attach it yet because I thought it would be really fun if we grabbed a couple stamps here from Terrific Toadstools, specifically this little kind of branch and the coordinating toadstools, to just add a bit of detail. So I always like to stamp when the paper is out of the card, because if I've made a mistake, it's very easy right now to turn it over, or if worst comes to worst, to cut myself a brand new piece. It's very tricky to rip this out of the card and to remedy any mistakes I've made. So I've got my early espresso for the little stem. You could use any sort of crumb cake or brown pecan pie, whatever you like. And then for the toadstools themselves, I've got real red. My nemesis, I should not wear white shirts while using red ink. See if I can survive. All right, this now can go on the inside with some sort of flat adhesive. Don't need to do the whole perimeter. It's not, doesn't need to be as secure as this one did. All right, to the inside. To the front of the card now. So the first thing that I cut out for myself is a little decal. This was from the Toadstool Garden Designer Series paper pack. The paper, but I used the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the second largest from the set, to cut myself a little circle. I'm going to put this circle up on dimensionals and add that to my card. So I'm kind of covering this little bottom right section. Now we need to stamp and punch a few of our stems and toadstools here. So I've got my one toadstool and two toadstools, and then I'm just going to cut the stem out of early espresso paper. So I'm going to do the red again. I know I'm being very risky today. Okay, I've got the smaller of the toadstools in a piece of scrap paper. I could easily stamp a pumpkin pie toadstool right next to this, but I actually have that one ready to go. I wanted to show you guys how this punch works though, because it's a little different than usual. It doesn't leave like a white border like we're used to. They actually punch out fully in color. There's no white edges, and I really like that for this purpose. I think it makes the image stand out quite nicely. So I've actually cut those two out. They're ready to go, but I'll show you one regardless. I found you waste less paper if you cut small strips and feed it in the side of these. Oops, upside down though. Because if I was to feed it in this way, let's say I had stamped the other way, I would end up cutting through this white paper and wasting that as well. There is a way that I can show you later for you to dual stamp and cut those out at the same time, but sometimes you only need one and then you don't want to waste the paper. So there's the little toadstool, and you can see there's more red still on the paper there. And then with my little punch and magic, I also have two stems, so I can get rid of one of those, and I'm ready to start assembling the mushroom part of the card. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to start with is the red little toadstool, and I'm going to put dimensionals onto the back of that one. And we're going to tuck this right up near the top right of our circle, like that. Then we're going to play with the orange one here, and I'm putting dimensionals on this guy, but I'm going to put him at a slant because I just thought I wanted to match the catalog, and I really liked the tilt there. So dimensionals onto the back, and we're tucking this one just in behind the red for a little bit of focus there. Now we get to add our stems, okay? So the stems are easiest if you simply add a dot of glue at the base of the mushroom head. A bit of glue here, a bit of glue there, and just attach your stems right now. You can also keep in mind you can turn these back and forth, face them two different directions if you want. It's up to you. So I know they're kind of hanging, but I'm choosing not to put dimensionals on the bottom of them. They're going to hide behind my tag, so it's not really going to matter. Now, while those are drying, we're going to focus on our little tag. That's why we did this ahead of time, so they can dry. The tag I mentioned, I cut from the Delicate Forest die set. You can cut yourself a little rectangle if you want. You can use any other dies in combination with your sentiments. So I've got the Poppin' Up to Say Hi and my Granny Apple Green. I'm going to combine those. And then I am putting dimensionals onto the back of this, but the P at the beginning of my word does end up hanging off of the card a little bit. So it's your choice. You can either put dimensionals just on your circle, or if you can be mindful enough, just put them under like the double P's and the last P. Don't put any under the beginning of this tag because it'll go to waste. It'll make you frustrated, and it'll kind of make your card lopsided. So just on the 2/3 here on the back is where you want dimensionals. This guy, like I said, is going to hang off the edge a tiny bit. He's only going to match up kind of close to the edge on the right hand side here. And hopefully I got this straight because I am working a foot in front of me. But those stems, they end up just tucking in the back. They're not in the way, and you don't have to worry about them. The last thing that you can add to this card, if you would like to, is these adorable little tiny bee trinkets. They are not part of the Toadstool suite or set. They, in fact, do come from something else in the January to April mini catalog with beautiful daffodils galore, but I thought the bees worked really well also. They do come in a pack of 40, and in Canada here they're $12.25 plus shipping and tax, and for 40 of these tiny little bees, That's a pretty good deal for our embellishments. They are super, super small. So if you have the putty end of your take your pick tool, you might want to use that, but I didn't grab it, so we'll be fine. Hopefully. I'm going to just once again put a tiny dot of glue onto my space and then drop my little bumblebee, hopefully right where he needs to go. Close enough. Can use this to just bring it back. And I like that this glue just dries clear, so I don't have to worry that there's a little showing. So there you go. A great way to use up your scraps, a really fun, vibrant card if you know somebody who loves nature and loves all of these colors. And of course, you can replicate this idea using a stamp set that you have on hand or scraps that you want to use up if you don't own these guys already. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider clicking that like button. I really appreciate your support. And if you click subscribe, then you get notified whenever I post a new video. I will see you next Tuesday at noon for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye.